In the sulky time, Meadowlands Racing and Entertainment is very pleased and delighted to welcome Nina Simmonds. You finally made it, Nina.
I
the
did.
co-owner and breeder, of course, of Golden Receiver. Nina, thanks for joining us. Give us a little background on yourself. You didn't start in the horse racing business. You were in real estate, right?
Yes, I was a real estate broker, self-employed. My husband was self-employed lawyer, and we decided, or he decided, that one of us should be happy. So,
Yeah, I think it was you, probably, right?
well, he backed me 100%.
You had that dream to work with horses, right?
From the day I was born.
Standardbred horses, though?
No, when I bought the farm, I had never been to a standardbred race. They were standing 4 stallions and breeding 120 mares a year, and I knew absolutely nothing.
And that's Windy Hill Farms in Binghamton, New York.
That's correct.
How did you land on that farm? Did you just see an ad in a paper? Or
No, I met someone at a horse conference in Cornell, and he said his trainer's place was up for sale. And I had been looking at places for a year and a half, and when I drove up the driveway, I found it. And I went home and I said to my husband, I found it. And he goes, oh, darn.
Yeah, but things didn't work out for you, unfortunately, and financially as well. But along came Golden Receiver. Of course, you were breeding horses, training horses as well. Tell us how that horse kind of saved the ranch, so to speak, got you out.
Well, I was running into debt, training. I was just racing at Monticello, Pocono. Yeah, Yonkers, if I was lucky. I never even had a horse good enough to go to the Meadowlands. That was my dream. But we had paid off the farm, so it wasn't like we were bankrupt, but I was running into a lot of debt and said, I can't borrow anymore, and he said we had to sell the farm.
And the horse got good, and you gave him to Mark Harder, right?
I raced him during his 3-year-old year, and then I knew I had something unbelievably spectacular. His 3rd race, he won by 20 lengths at Vernon. His 5th race, he sent a track record at Tioga. And my husband and I just looked at each other like, what?
and of course you sold part of him, but kept a piece of the horse as well,
I kept
right?
a piece with no bills, and
there you go.
it's just been really sweet because I wasn't in any position to campaign a Grand Circuit horse.
Well, he's 9 years old now. Over $2 million later, he's looking for his 60th career win in tonight's free-for-all. He's really blossomed as an older horse for Mark Harder, and kudos to caretaker Billy Mandrell as well.
Absolutely. I am just so pleased that he's with their barn. Golden Receiver's never known anything but 2 grooms, myself and Billy, and he really blossoms under that kind of tutelage.
Let's go back in time. Let's look at a couple of his wins here. We're going to not go too far back to 2012. And this is the William Houghton Memorial. He's a winner in 148 and 2/5, and he was coming off a lifetime best of 148, which is still his mark, in the U.S. Pacing Championship. Were you here that day? Do you remember this?
I certainly was. This was just the beginning when I knew he was getting better and better.
And always noted for his controlling speed. Loves the front end, loved the big mile track here. Great record at the Meadowlands, 26 wins and 63 starts here. And he likes the winter as well. Back-to-back January Horse of the Month and Presidentials.
No, that's because he grew up on top of a mountain in upstate New York.
When you bred this horse, or you bred the mare, you raced the mare, of course, and when you bred this, why did you pick Village Jove as a sire?
I just thought he was beautiful, he had nice lines, and he was New York bred, and he was about in our price range.
He was
right
affordable.
Then. He was affordable.
That's terrific. Well, we have another roll in here of his win last fall. Now, he kind of struggled last year. What was his problem last year?
He had a hoof abscess, and it was deep all the way through the meat. And they tried to patch it together, and sometimes it worked, but then it would bust open again. And those kind of things, imagine ripping out your fingernail. I mean, it just takes a long time to grow back and to heal. But he looks awfully sound to me right now.
Well, he bounced back pretty big here, and he pulled a big upset in the All-Arage Farms final. The All-Arage Farm at the Red Mile. And Golden Receiver right here on the slop is driven by Corey Callahan. Where were you when this happened?
I was right there.
Oh, you were there?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
And it wasn't pretty, but he's a good mud horse. He's good in the cold, and the softer the track, the better he is. He is fussy about track.
149 and 3, I believe it was like a 12 or 13 to 1 upset there, and actually 150 flat, I should say. 49 and 2 is the next one we're going to look at. He's come back superb this year. I mean, he looks better than ever. He won his first start back in 149.2, as I mentioned, and right here he is on the engine. He was able to control the middle half, and again, that's where the controlling speed comes in.
That's really important to him. If he can control the race, you know, he's got it. If they chase him down like a fox with the hounds, you know, then it's a little tougher for him, making him go 25-second first quarters.
And I can't believe you're doing this interview tonight, because you always tell me when I speak to you on the phone that you're a nervous wreck, just to see if he's entered. Never mind racing. Right?
I am, and I texted Mark Harder once when the horse was in Canada, and I texted him, he's going against Better Than Cheddar. Oh my! And Mark texted back, have a wine, relax, win or lose, he will never disappoint me. And that just made Mark go up in my estimation so much.
And his legacy lives on, will live on the racetrack. Hopefully, you bred both of Golden Receiver's sisters, right?
Correct.
Rock and Roll Heaven.
Rock and Roll Heaven, and they are big, beautiful, a colt and a filly, and they're going to be going into the Harrisburg sale in November.
Great stuff. We'll look forward to that. Now let's get to the charity work here. A portion of the horse's charity, or a horse's earnings, go to charities, and you've supported the Equitarian Initiative, New Vocations Racehorse Adoption Program. Your latest venture is helping out the Harry Angel Foundation, harryangel.org. Tell us about that.
It was set up by my girlfriend of 30 years. She fell in love with my golden retrievers. My husband, we always had them.
That's Fran Elliott,
That's
right?
Fran Elliott.
Okay. And she's watching, by the way. Hello, Fran.
And she decided she wanted to be with Goldens, and so she set up this charitable foundation where they place golden retrievers about a year old with children with special needs, autistic children, and also facility dogs. And there's a waiting list right now for all of them.
Now, they've placed, what, 100 dogs so
Yes.
far all across it? But you just told me a story before we came on about the trauma. This is fascinating. These dogs are used for trauma for kids that have gone through trauma. And the kids will tell us about that.
Well, they go, I've got two facilities that are waiting for dogs. They've already had one of her dogs before.
Right.
And they're generally Child Protective Services. And these kids are usually pretty badly traumatized, and they won't talk to detectives, they won't talk to policemen, but they'll talk to a dog and tell them what happened. And that helps out, you know, the detectives in the testimony, and then the dogs are even allowed to accompany the kids to court if necessary, where they support them and keep them relaxed.
Just terrific, great work, Nina.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. Golden Retrievers and Golden Receiver.
Well,
and
it
that's
was
how he
all
got his
part of
name,
one
right?
thing. Absolutely.
You were on the track and you looked over, you saw your dog and said, hey, why not Golden Receiver, right?
That's it.
And you're going to visit him tonight in the paddock? Give him
Yeah.
a big hug for us?
A big hug and a big kiss on the lips.
Terrific. Well, thanks very much, Nina Simmonds. Great cause. You're doing some great work with the earnings of Golden Receiver, and he is the people's horse. This horse has a lot of charisma. We love him.
Oh, thank you. You've been so great with your postings and pictures and articles, and he told me to thank you.
All right. Well, thanks a lot. Have a seat here, and Bob Hayden is going to be up next to preview tonight's action.